the industry.
Welcome back to World Crisis Radio for our second hour of this week's program. This is Webster Tarpley here in Washington, D.C., and now an institution on this program since August of 2008, since before the Democratic National Convention made the leap into the abyss by nominating a relatively unknown and undistinguished candidate of dubious qualifications and even eligibility to even run for president. We've been trying to check in with Phil Berg, distinguished lawyer from Philadelphia, and again, former Democratic county chairman for Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, former member of the Democratic State Committee for Pennsylvania, former Democratic primary candidate for governor and senator from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Phil Berg. Phil, welcome.
My pleasure. How are you doing today?
It's good to see you again. Now we want to get our weekly update, so please take it away.
Well, nothing new, much new has happened. I was in court yesterday on the case where Liberia versus Orly Tates, but I just want to say on that, we want to low focus on that, but I really believe that we are the most direct on target, and that's ObamaCrimes.com, OBAMACRIMES.com. Unfortunately, I had to sue Orly Tates because she has been disseminating the Social Security number of one of my staff volunteers, and it's against the law. And I don't know. I believe that Orly Tates' intentions are detrimental to the cause. But I'd rather talk about the three cases I have.
Phil, before we go on, though, she must give some explanation. Why does she harass you? Why does she harass you in her own terms? What does she say about this?
She's just saying that this person is no good, and therefore we should look at all the records. There's no legitimate purpose for what she's doing. She's trying to bring me down, which makes no sense. Anyone trying to bring me down has to be tied for, and I think she's tied into Obama. I think she must be working for Obama or someone for him, because if we look back at what she has done or not done in the past 7 months, I believe everything's detrimental to the cause. Remember what we have to do here. In my opinion, we have to raise the public awareness. And now I'd say, I've guesstimate that we're up from 10 to 15 to 20 million people maybe know about what's going on. But we have to raise that to 75 million. And when someone like Orly writes letters to the FBI and CIA and asks them to investigate the U.S. Supreme Court, saying that they're playing around with her cases and the clerk of the Supreme Court is doing things wrong, I don't think that attracts new people. New people, a lot of people are saying, well, then they're crazy. But we're not crazy. We're on the point. If you look back, her running all around the country with her quo warranto, asking DAs or attorney generals to file them, that's not the proper procedure, and we're going to get to that soon. I really think that she's hurting the cause. I think that there's ulterior motives back there, and I will not tolerate her doing what she's been doing, and I will pursue that. But I want to be quiet on that. But does it make sense? Does it make sense that I have the three most viable cases pending in the United States federal court system, and her wanting to bring me down and bring me down through my assistant? Does that make any sense?
It only makes sense, Phil, if you, what I believe is that this is some clique of reactionaries, some clique of right-wingers who want to control the debate. In other words, they want to say, well, Obama is a leftist, and anybody who's against him has got to be some kind of a reactionary Republican, and you break the mold. I've always stressed your background in the Democratic Party, the fact that you're a paid life member of the NAACP, and all the other things that you bring to this. It makes it impossible to say that people who are interested in Obama's birth certificate are somehow KKK or white supremacists or some other collection of lunatics. You break the mold. In other words, you de-ideologize this question and bring it down to reality.
And I'm so glad I am doing it for that purpose, to legitimize it, because it's a very legitimate concern. It would be like some talk show host the other day said, "Oh, it's nonsense again." Well, it's not nonsense. And think about it. Just because 60, 70 million people voted for him doesn't mean anything, because 60 or around 60 million people voted for McCain, but of the eligible voters, an additional 90 million people who could have voted didn't vote for either one. But that means that 90 and 60, 150 million people did not vote for Obama. So it's not overwhelming when he got his 63 to 70 million votes. and what I'm dealing with here is, and someone called me today and said, well, the Constitution's really not being followed. I said, well, it must be followed. That's the basis of our country. That's the foundation document on which our country is based, the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights. And people around the world want to have a country like ours. They want to, that's what they want. So on that basis, we have to hold up this Constitution. And I think Obama is trying to destroy the Constitution, destroy our country. I hate to get into issues here, but when the Tea Party people are getting ready to rally again, they have to look at us, because the basic issue is, if he wasn't in office, he couldn't be doing all this other stuff he's doing to send the country down the drain. And as far as I'm concerned, 1,000% illegitimate. He is not constitutionally eligible to be president. He's not constitutionally qualified to be president. And some people want to say, oh, what's the difference? Well, there is a difference. And taking the case of, I'm an attorney, or take an attorney or a doctor who's been practicing for 15, 20 years. Let's use that. And all of a sudden someone says that person never passed the bar, that person didn't go to medical school, that person didn't get his medical license. Well, what do they do with that person? They arrest that person, they try that person's a fraud. Well, we have a fraud in the White House. And if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. I've said that all along, Webster, in your show from way back when. Show me your birth certificate, prove me wrong. But now we want the documentation, not only your birth certificate, but documentation when you came back from Indonesia, and documentation that you retook your allegiance to this country. Documentation shows that you're natural born. And by him spending over $1 million defending these things, fighting these lawsuits, it just shows you don't spend $1 million unless you're hiding something.
Absolutely. Anybody can see that. And so, I think also the Constitution, right? The big opposition to Bush and Cheney was they violated the Constitution. Of course, they did. But you can't then say, well, now we're going to pick and choose what part we like and what part we don't like, and that stuff about natural-born citizen is the part we don't like, so we're going to forget that for the next 4 to 8 years or however long this regime lasts.
And we can't.
Then you're in the realm of anarchy, aren't you?
Absolutely. And people are complaining about what Bush did with the Constitution, but all of a sudden no one's talking about the Constitution. But Obama has to eat his words, because he says his administration is and will be the most open administration. It will be the most transparent administration. Well, that's baloney, because if you can't even acknowledge that you're qualified to be president, how is it open? How is it, it's not there. It's not transparent because you're not transparent. And, we have to really stand up. And that's why it's great being on your show, and I hope all your listeners go to their address book and send ObamaCrimes.com to everyone on their address book. Ask them to send it on to everyone on their address book, and on and on and on. Because once we raise the public awareness to like 75 million, we can accomplish something. Remember the Boston Tea Party. Remember we fought for the foundation of this country. Remember there's been civil war. There's been wars over the years to fight to defend our Constitution. And it's up to us now. I don't want a war. I want a peaceful revolution. I want a peaceful revolution to force him to either show that he's qualified or force him out of office. And I believe he should be out of office. And all these laws he's passing, all these bills he's doing and the spending, they're all void or voidable because he is a usurper. He doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the license to be in office.
Well said, Phil. And I urge everybody to go to your website, ObamaCrimes.com, and keep informed, and above all, give you a contribution to keep this valuable work going. Again, I think it's absolutely critical. Obama is now falling in the polls. I think interest in this can only grow. There's going to be a new wave, I think, of people coming to you, and we hope to see you next week. And have a happy 4th of July in the meantime.
You too. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.